Welcome to the Unfolding You podcast. I'm Erin Smylie Walsh, and I'm thrilled to invite you on a transformative journey of self-discovery and faith. Well, welcome to another episode of the Unfolding You podcast. I'm so glad that you have joined us today. And if you haven't gone through the previous episodes, we're going through a little bit of a season and a flow in season 2. And we're entering an episode today on waiting. And I'm titling it Waiting. Slow is still holy. And I think a lot of us get into these seasons of waiting and we look at it as moments of the Lord has forgotten us, or we've had a promise on us, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. What I really want to leave with you today, and I'm opening with it so that you can start thinking around it as we go through the episode, that delay is not denial. Okay? God forms in the waiting. Just let that sink in. I think for me personally, I always felt for the longest time like I had never really reached my full potential. That I would start and end things where I just felt like, what was the point in that? I went through seasons in life where they were purely survival seasons. They were purely moments that kind of made sense at the time, but I felt like I was getting nowhere in those moments of time. And I still believe I've got a whole lot of life ahead of me and a whole lot of waiting seasons still coming to fruition. And there'll be seasons that'll come to an end and new chapters that'll start. But when I look at my life right now, and I think back on the years that have gone ahead, I can see the Lord's hand over all of those moments and how time has been woven together to meet me at this point, where who I am right now is who was formed in the waiting. I always think of a diamond, and a diamond is formed under pressure. It can't happen just out of the ordinary. It needs to be formed under pressure. I think of, let's think of just a seed. There's so much growth and work that happens underground before this flower or this shrub or this tree pops out through the ground. And often we don't see the inner workings until the flower comes out. But man, the Lord's been doing a lot of work in us in the hiddenness. And that's really where I want to encourage you today, is the waiting seasons are still holy seasons. And I'm going to read from Psalm 27, verse 14 today. I'm reading from the NLT. And it says, "Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous." Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Psalm 27 really focuses on the presence of God. Okay, and in the Old Testament, the presence of God was really found in the temple. But his presence is readily available to us through the Holy Spirit. And it's in those moments of stillness that the Holy Spirit really talks to us in those spaces. I'm going to go to Habakkuk 2, verse 3. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. And it's just such a promise for us, because I feel there again, it just takes us to that moment of like, God's timing is not our timing. We may think that things are taking forever to come to head, like we've slogged away, we're not being seen, what's the point? But yet we don't see what is actually coming. Only the Lord can. And that's where I think society at this point has put us in a state of uncertainty, because we've got this efficiency idol that we value. So if I am efficient, if I'm working, if I'm on course, that creates the formation of path. So it's this climbing the corporate ladder. It's this getting from one job to a next, to a next, to a next. It's making headway in seasons that are monumental. But sometimes seasons come to us just in moments where we need to wait. We're put there to get to grips with who we are, not what output we're putting out and what we're getting from that. Signs you're resisting your waiting season is you're in a hurry. Well, I should be there already. Why is it taking me so long to get to this point in my career? You've got this comparison mentality. So you're comparing your path to someone else's. Your journey is your journey. You are not delayed in your journey. You are not delayed. I just think of like the Israelites wandering the wilderness. And I read something the other day where it was this comparison of like, the Lord could have taken them out of that wilderness, but he needed them there to ensure that they were fully reliant on his provision. And he had to get them out of the slave mentality where I am your provider. I am with you. I will provide all of your needs. And we forget that. So some practices I want to encourage you with, which I'm going to be very honest, I struggle with myself. I want to encourage you taking a micro Sabbath. I have struggled to do a Sabbath. I'll be very honest. It's hard for me to shut down. I have this work mentality, or I have this mentality that if I'm not resting, I'm wasting time. I'm not actually being productive. But rest is also good. And so I want you to try and do like a 10-minute daily stop. You can pick a time. You can pick what it is you're going to be stopping, but just 10 minutes, even if you just can do that daily exercise of 10 minutes of having a micro Sabbath, of just stopping. Whether it's stopping and just being 10 minutes in prayer, whether it's stopping and just being still, stillness to the Holy Spirit. I really want to encourage you to try and do that, because it's in the stillness that we hear the whisper. It's like we spoke about last week. It doesn't need to be this monumental explosion of voice, like the Lord talks in the whispers. Okay. And then try and do a bit of a rule of life audit. Whether it's your faith, your family, work, rest. Where are you struggling to either release control or to give yourself rest? Is it that you're consistently in a hurry? Is it that you consistently want comparing yourself to someone else? Is it that you're being cynic in certain spaces of life? Just do a bit of a rule of life audit. Where am I actually not complacent in the waiting? And I just want to move it along. Because it's in the waiting that the Lord does his biggest work. It's in the waiting that he wants to break us. He wants to push us under that pressure. He wants to mold us, because in the end of the day, the olive oil can't come from uncrushed olives. The wine cannot come from uncrushed wine grapes. Wine only develops in fermentation. There's a period of waiting in order for that wine to develop. And so don't look at your waiting seasons as wasted seasons. They hold such value. And what is the Lord trying to teach you there in those moments? I think for me, like having those waiting seasons have always allowed me to look at how the Lord has been trying to correct me. And I take it back to John 15. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit so that they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile and burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great joy to my Father. And sometimes in the waiting seasons, the Lord's pruning us. He's cutting off all those dead branches that do not serve us. He's refining us. He's disciplining us. He's correcting us, because it's in the waiting that he creates the preparedness for the next season, for the next chapter. But you need to stay grounded in where you are right now and be grounded in him. I feel like the liturgy for waiting is really this reframing of mind and practice, where I wait and you, Lord, you work. And that's what he's saying to us. But we need to be receptive and open to that working for us and in him. So where is the slowness inviting me to trust? I feel like that's the biggest thing, we in these seasons and we go, Lord, I just don't know if I can trust you. I don't know what you're trying to do here. You're breaking me beyond me even knowing who I am. But it's taking that, slowly trusting in him, that what he's doing in us is the work in that waiting. When we're in that season of waiting, I believe the hiddenness is what is the most important. It's what we do in that hiddenness that serves him. A lot of times we want people to see the things we do. We want the affirmation. We want the accolades. We want the confirmation that what we're doing is amazing. But what if nobody sees the work we're doing? What if nobody sees what is being broken in the hiddenness? And that's purely just for the Lord. I think it starts reframing our level of importance and what we want to position and where we want to position ourselves. So I want to challenge you today. Choose one thing this week to slow down. Just one thing. Whether it is your commute, whether it's rushing out the door, whether it is your meal times, your slow, reducing your impact of response. Is it slowing down your response in a moment of frustration? Is it slowing down your response in a moment of criticism? Is it slowing your response in utter chaos? I want you to challenge yourself in that today. Just slow down one thing this week. Because it's in that slowness and in that waiting season that the Lord does his best work in us. Where he creates this level of preparedness for us to really position and shine in his light for his glory, not ours. So I want to leave you with one thing. Your slow isn't a setback. It's a sacred place. And if we start reshifting our minds in that way, we'll look at it as a sacred place. So I really want to encourage you this week to practice these elements of slowness. And if you've enjoyed the episode, please share it with somebody that you think might value this and need this in their lives. Click subscribe, share, and I look forward to touching base with you next week. Have a good day. Bye.